Hello, everyone, and welcome to Making Animations in Smash Ultimate Blender. So, this is where you can do all sorts of things. You can do model imports, you can do model exports, you can do animations, you can do like anything really. You can also now just do swing stuff as well for the swing bones on your characters. Um, so, the way to get it, right now I don't have it. Um, just have to go to your browser, search up Smash Ultimate Blender, and there should be a link for SSBU Carlos. He's the guy who makes this, he's the guy who keeps it up and running, and he's really good at making sure things are fixed and very, like, working really well. So to get the plugin, you just go to the green code button, click it, and do download zip. This is your plugin. This is all you need. It's just this zip. Um, then you're going to want to go back into Blender, edit, preferences, install. And then just go to downloads, Smash Ultimate Blender. Make sure you install the right one, and it will show up here. Just click that checkbox, and to update it, you just need to disable it, restart Blender, and then hit remove. And then you can update it with the new version. So, first things first, we need our character files. To get those, you need to dump your game, which is really quick and honestly doesn't take up too many gigabytes, maybe like, I think 16 now. So then you just go into Arc Explorer, and once that boots up, you'll have all your files. Fighter, today we're going to be making a Kirby Taunt. Make sure you only extract COO so you don't inflate your file sizes by a lot. And same for the motion folder. That will have all your animations in it, and they are categorized by these the letter here. So like all of the eat stuff is under D00. And apparently all of the specials as well. Oh no, those are also eating stuff. Okay, so everything under D00 is food. So you get the idea. Once you extract those, everything is good. Except for one thing. Also, you'll know that you'll have it installed if you hit the end button to bring up this little bar, and the Ultimate tab is there. So the one thing that you are missing if you just extract the files straight from the game is that you will be missing the textures. And the materials will glitch out because they don't have any textures to go off of. So you'll end up with this. So the way to fix that is getting Switch Toolbox and opening that up. And just go to Tools and Batch Export textures. So then just make your way to your fighter folder. Go into NutXB, those are your textures. And find the last one, and then shift click, and then hit open. Choose the same folder that the model and stuff is in. Turn off the use folder stuff, otherwise Smash Ultimate Blender won't be able to read it. Let it do that. And once it's done, it'll give you that message. Then browse for your model folder again, choose that, and hit import model. I'm trying to go somewhat quickly through this because the bulk of this is going to be when we're animating it, and I'm going to be teaching you about a bunch of different stuff. So as you can see, Kirby has a bunch of like overlapping textures and like models and stuff. That's because not all of his visibility meshes go away when you import him. It makes it a little difficult because you can't really see what's going on with the character. So what you're going to want to do there is import an animation. Normally I just do the idle animation because it gives you a nice neutral base for everything. So I usually just go into the animation tab, get a camera going for that. All animations that you're gonna make are the character facing right from a left camera view. You can also get this position by going up here, view, viewpoint, oh my god, I can't talk. Viewpoint, and then hit left, and then that'll bring you here. So you can see we have Kirby's screen splat model showing up. We don't want that. So you can access all of the visibility meshes in the armature, and then click on the armature there, and then ultimate animation data. So this will give you all of the visibility meshes that you can toggle on and off when animating. And the best way to get rid of all of these, because they don't show up here, is clicking this down arrow. Once you click that, click autofill visibility entries. That'll check to see if there are any that are not actually in this list. You can also expand this list if you need to, which is nice. And then we're just going to uncheck all of these. So you're going to notice nothing is changing right now, but that's for good reason. These aren't actually linked to the meshes yet. In order to do that, we need to insert keyframes and then refresh. And then there they go. As you can see, it didn't have his neutral eye expression on there. So we can just go to Kirby Eye 1, click it, and then click the eye button. Eye is the button that you'll use for any keyframing. So like if I move his hand up a bit, I hit eye, and then I hit rotation. So this menu gives you all the different things that you can change. As you can see on the next frame, it goes back to how it was. And that is because all Smash Ultimate animations are baked. So the Smash development team animates in Maya and exports into NB, which is the animation files. And as you can see, it bakes every single frame just to make sure that everything is one-to-one when they export it from Maya into Smash Ultimate. This is annoying for editing animations because you'll have to clean the channels and the keyframes. And as you can see, it cleans out some of the tracks that don't have any movement in them while keeping the main animation the same. Cleaning keyframes also does the same. It checks to see if there are keyframes that don't move, and if that happens, then it will it'll get rid of them for you. So this is on his knee, and that's when he goes up. And we can move that around if we want. It doesn't look like it changes anything, unfortunately, bad example. But you can see all of these different ones are all moving pretty well. So you can do whatever you want with this, and yeah, you get the idea. But for today, we're just going to do a simple ball bounce with Kirby, just as a taunt. So what we're going to do is delete all of the keyframes here, so we won't actually need the animation. And, we're just going to get to it. So this is where you can do anything that you want. You can change the visibility meshes just by turning one off, hitting I, turning another on, hitting I, and then you can go like 2 more frames and go back, and that will just make it so it changes, and that will be reflected when you export it. And then you can also choose to rig up everything with a Blender animation rigger, or you can export the character and animate it in a different software and then re-import it. But that's up to you. Today, we're just going to be doing something simple with FK. And if you don't know what FK means, that's all right. We're just doing the most basic stuff. It means no setup, no anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Kirby do a quick little jump, and he will turn into a ball and then bounce. And that's it. So I might speed this section up a little bit just because, we got to keep it quick. So let's just do location. I will switch this to local. So this will change whether or not your rotation stuff is a world thing, so it doesn't get affected by the bone, or it is the position of the bone, and you can just easily change it there. Normally, I keep switching between the two. It seems to work the best for me. But it's up to preference, really. Whatever works best for you is what you should do, honestly. So I'm just going to do this. Rotation, toe. Bring that up. Rotation. And then same here. This isn't going to be a great animation. It's just going to be a quick one just to show you what you can do. Rotation, and then by about frame 12, we're going to want to be up in the air fully. And change that to that. Just going to rotate him up a bit more. Excuse me. And just get the feet down there. But yeah, it's just going to be a quick and dirty one, just to sort of give you an idea of what you can do. So here we have Kirby doing a pretty rough jump, but gonna just keep going. So we're gonna have him go here, rotation, maybe here we'll just push him up a bit more. So now we've got, also you're going to want to make sure this is set to 60 FPS. For some reason, my computer doesn't like working with Blender and the Smash Blender plugin, so it's not going to be real time, but you'll get an idea of what your animation is going to look like. So yeah, it's nothing great at all, but yeah, so we're going to do one thing here. So this button controls whether or not you see just the bone that you have selected, or if you want to see every single bone. I always have that on when I'm doing stuff like this, just because it makes it easier to, see everything, or in this case, see only what you want to see. So we're going to do that. Gonna have his arms come in and his legs go up, so then we can hide them at the same time. So, whoop. And yeah, so we're just gonna shrink the legs and other way. So this is a method that a lot of people use in animation, just to sort of hide things very quickly. It works pretty well for some stuff. So we need both of them. So he's just gonna lose his legs right there. You won't see it because you only see this side. So now I'm also gonna do that to the arms. The clavicle C-bone affects both of the joints, or both of the arms, I guess. And then, yeah, we're just gonna do this. All right. So once we have that, we now just have this. Once they disappear, I normally just go in here and uncheck the mesh for them. Just because then the game won't have to render them when they're inside of his body. So yeah, then we're just gonna keep going for this right now because he is all like facing a weird way. I use global. It just makes it easier. And yeah, so we're just gonna drop his position down there. Make sure that it's actually hitting the ground. And then hit location. I'm also gonna rotate him. Yeah, so this is the bad part about animating with stuff like this. Their pivot, it's pretty rough, which isn't great when he's a sphere, because ideally you would want the pivot point to be in the middle, right there. So I'm gonna undo what I just did with the rotation, just because I don't want him to be moving based on that. Does moving the body bone move the arms? Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it then, because the arms won't move with the body. But for when we land into the ground, I'm just gonna use the body bone. Makes it easy and simple. Pretty good. And then we're just gonna bring this guy down. Keyframe location. And here we're gonna do the scaling on the trans bone. This bone and this bone you normally don't want to do anything on, but because this is just an example, I'm just gonna show scaling with the actual with the trans bone, just so we can keep it attached to the floor. And I don't know, it's just simpler. But you should make a constraint for it so that it will so that like you're not actually affecting this bone, but so that you're affecting the hip bone. So just gonna add some squash and stretch to the ball as it hits the ground. Animation takes time. That is one thing that you gotta know. Like, a lot of the time, people want to rush things, but you really just need to, like, take a second, you know? With Blender as well, make sure you're selecting all the tracks. Otherwise, it'll only work on the one that you ended up choosing. Like here, it looks like I missed one channel. There we go. I think it's about original. No? There we go. So right now I'm just handing it off to the trans bone for that scaling. We're getting somewhere. And then we're just going to want to bring him back up because we just bounced. Position, body. Just going to want to bring this back around. Blender sucks for 360 stuff, so I'm really, yeah. I was gonna say I would be really surprised if that worked. It did not. Again, like, I don't even know what it's doing. Why is it going up that way? So we want to go down this way. Oh my gosh. Now it's doing that. Undo that. Bring it here. Come up here. Rotation. Okay. We're getting somewhere. And then set that back to normal. And I think we're almost done this animation. It looks like the 360 motion is working with the head. And then just gonna have his arms pop back out. Go back here, go to arm foot, turn that back on. And you can see all your visibility stuff here. It's pretty simple. So it shouldn't be too bad for anyone who's trying to do it. And you also can go back to here and reset the values just to make sure that they're the same. It only works on one though. Not sure why Blender does that, but you know, it happens. And then I'm also just gonna want to Kirby, why are you like this? So we can edit the legs to get the positions where we want them to be. Kirby is a weird character for this. And then the arms, we're just gonna bring them back as well. Buff Kirby. All right, and then I'm also just gonna give them a little animation. Yeah, it seems to go inside of his body when we go up here. It's a bit rough, but you know, this is why you would ideally set it up with a character rig. Right here, I will bring them back. And then, no, that didn't work. Oh, wrong one. We'll bring them back there. So, you come around. And then on frame 80, the best way to transition back to idle is click on the idle frame or import it, copy, and paste. And normally you would animate him going back to it, but since I want to wrap this up, I'm just gonna let it be. Okay, in a second. I'm gonna do a whole character. That way this pose is saved. From 72, just gonna get the idle back. And I'm also just gonna... So, because his head is wrapping around the wrong way, I'm just gonna find which bone is doing that by going into the graph editor. If you don't know about the graph editor, you might want to look into it before you try to mess around with it. It's one of those things that's kind of harder than the other stuff, I guess. So yeah, just make sure that you're aware of what things are, I guess. Okay, so that's that way. That's up. So quaternums are annoying for this stuff because it's not just like 0 to 360. It's like 0.25 to fucking 1.0, but you also need a whole bunch of different stuff in order to know how to use them. It's not fun, unfortunately. So that's that way. I honestly have no clue what the W is, but you know, things just suck with this. So what I'm gonna do is just do that. Okay, so it is the hip bone. All right, so I'm just gonna animate the position back on the body. Okay. Yeah, so here we go with the issues on quaternums. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how they work. Okay, did that do something? Okay, we're gonna go with that. I guess it was the W quaternum that was the issue. But yeah, let's just do a quick little in between it, just to make it not look as jank. This animation is not gonna look good. It's gonna look okay, but it's definitely not what I normally do. I normally animate in Maya, so this is one of those things where I'm kind of just winging it, just using what I know and hoping that everything looks decent. Sure. All right. So now that you have that, click on your armature. Everything that you see is gonna go into the actual animation. All the effects, all the visibility meshes, and all that sort of stuff. So export new in MB. Go into the character. Why isn't it showing the folders? Uh-oh. Okay. Fighter. There we go. Motion, body, COO. So we're going to do this on up taunt, because why not? So appeal high R. Some of them only have one side. This is like facing right. So yeah, I'm just going to double click that. Make sure to include all of these. I ended on frame 72. So I'm going to put that in there. Normally you would set them up down here, but I forgot to. But once you hit export animation, I'm just going to do that to my desktop. It's just going to quickly export it. I think it's already done. I don't think it has a message. But yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go into SSBH editor. This is good for viewing your animations, making sure everything looks fine, and it makes it so you can watch it in real speed. I'm going to try to wrap this up a bit quicker, just because we are already in the 37-minute territory. All right, so model, body. So now we got our round boy. Camera settings set rotation Y to 90. That gives you the side view that you want. Add folder. I just put it on my desktop. Select folder. And there you go. It's nothing great. You definitely should move a lot more upwards. So I think I'm gonna do a quick little change for that. Up. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna quickly make him go a bit higher using the graph editor. Honestly, it didn't look nearly as bad as I thought it would. So up. Let's just go up to like here. There we go. Export and back to the desktop. Over that one. I forgot to change the amount of frames, so let me just do that quickly. 72, desktop, in here. All right, and just reload that. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm too much of a perfectionist for this, so I'm just gonna do this. So this is a little bit more advanced, using the tangents and stuff, but that'll make it so it doesn't just like stop at the top. He'll sort of rise up a little bit longer and then go down. Just gonna do that. And that should be good. I'll leave it at that, honestly. Desktop, this, and we'll try it out one more time just to see how it looks. There we go. Still not perfect, but you get the idea. All right, let me just grab my Switch real quick. I like to use a program called FileZilla. It makes it so it's easier to put things into put things onto the SD card. Sorry about that. My brain paused for a second. So I just go into FileZilla, connect it to my Switch. And Ultimate Mods, and then I will just pop it into here with my animation commissions because it doesn't really matter. So create directory for it. Fighter, Kirby, model, my bad, motion, body, COO. So this is where all your costume slots will be. COO is costume 0. I'm just gonna grab, my computer sucks, so give it a second. Gonna grab that and plop that in there. And now we will switch over to the Switch. So I guess I'll save it. Might as well. Just as example. All right, and let's get over to the Switch. And it should be working perfectly fine on Taunt. Get that out of the way for you. Okay. What did I do wrong? Motion body COO. Fighter Kirby motion body COO. Maybe it's not enabled? Should be. Motion, body, CLL. Yeah, that should work. Sorry about that. Just give me a quick second. Just gonna make sure my file name is correct. Arc Explorer. It should be fine though. J01, appeal high R, motion body CLO. Maybe I booted up the game before it copied over. Oh, that's why. Okay. See what I did here? I put the Kirby in another fighter folder inside the fighter folder. So, before you ask for help, make sure you're not doing anything dumb like that. I'm going to leave that in just because it happens. Sometimes your brain goes dull. And that's okay. We make mistakes and just gotta live with them. Gotta move on. Sometimes it's not a huge deal. Bad example though. I have done this a lot. All right. Launch. We will do this again. All right, this time it will work for sure. Yeah, so there you go. It works in game. Jeez, the video capture is rough today. But you get the idea. It's in there. It works. And yeah. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps. Sorry it's so long. I'm going to try to speed them up a bit next time. And yeah, thank you again. Have a good one.